Tennessee Senator Marsha Blackburn with her thoughts on all of this. The FBI, as we have just learned, Senator, is looking into this as potential domestic acts of terrorism. But there doesn't seem to be, from the Attorney General of the United States, a tremendous sense of urgency to get to the bottom of what's happening and put a stop to it.
John, you're right about that, and that is why we have been calling on Merrick Garland to push forward to investigate these attacks that are taking place on pro-life centers. What you are seeing is violence. It should be investigated. If it were other groups that are supporting the left and they were experiencing this kind of violence and harassment, they would have immediately been investigated and action would have been taken without delay. But since it is pro-life affiliated groups and religious organizations, this DOJ has not done that.
I mean, this all seems to be part of a bigger piece, and that is, as we see protesters out in the streets in front of Sam Alito's house protesting against the Supreme Court justices and the pending decision in the Dobbs case. We've also seen them outside of Kavanaugh's house, as well as Amy Coney Barrett's house, that the DOJ just seems content to let people break the law without any pretense to try to enforce it.
That's exactly right. And as you mentioned, they are breaking the law. This is a federal offense, and they need to be taken down to City Hall and booked because they are in violation of federal law. And the fact that the DOJ has not stepped forward, the fact that Nancy Pelosi and the House took a month to look at providing extra security for the justices and their families. This is unconscionable. And then you had the squad and some of the leftists who voted no on protecting the justices. But John, remember, they voted for extra protection for themselves after January 6th.
They did. You know, there's some interesting findings in a new Fox News poll on public sentiment about whether or not people should be protesting in front of the justices' homes. Let's take a look at this. Breaks down this way by party. Everybody take it together. 55% think it's inappropriate. Democrats, 58% think it is appropriate. Republicans, 70% think inappropriate. Independents, 62% think it's inappropriate. It really is an interesting political split there. Republicans and independents think, by and large, it's inappropriate. Democrats say, go ahead.
And it is inappropriate and it is unlawful. But Democrats are so fearful that they are getting ready to lose it all in the midterm elections because they know the House and the Senate, some of these governorships, they're not going to be under Democrat control any longer. What you're going to see is a sea change that is coming. People do not like the violence. They don't like this rhetoric. They don't want the threats, the assaults, the cancel culture, the CRT being taught to their kids, the inflation, the price at the pump, at the grocery store. They are ready for change, and Democrats know this. So they're all in. They're all in on protesting justices. They're all in when it comes to standing there in front of these houses and carrying out these unlawful protests.
Senator, time is growing short, but I wanted to ask you about one other issue, and that is that Kamala Harris has been named to head up a task force on online harassment and abuse. Do you have confidence that this will be a fair and balanced approach at looking at online harassment? Because obviously, particularly with children, it's a big issue. But then there are free speech issues here as well. And do we really want the government getting involved?
Yeah. Well, they couldn't get their government disinformation board in place. So now they're going to try to do it and say that it's all about protecting women, but they can't define a woman. So I don't know what they're planning to accomplish. There is legislation in place that would put online privacy in place and do it in a bipartisan manner. There's the Kids Online Safety Act that could be passed that would help with this. But they don't want to do that. They want to talk about it. They don't want to have anything done about it because they need big tech to stay in cahoots with them and continue to censor conservatives in the online space. We're fighting back against that every day.
Senator Marsha Blackburn of the great state of Tennessee, thank you for spending time with us. Hope you have a good weekend.
Good to see you.